Welcome to the Wilshire Gun Podcast.
What's going on, guys? It's January. It's 2023. We made it. Here we are. Obviously, a lot of stuff. I hope everybody had a good holiday. I hope everybody had a good New Year. So, obviously, we're glad to have you back. We're going to jump right into it. Our front end's going to be a little short this time, but we're going to make up for it on the back end. We're changing it up, so you'll have to stick around until the end to see what's different. Let's see, jumping right in. Training. We got January training classes up. A lot of your favorites are there. Again, to my guy who's watching that waits to sign up for a class, they're there. So go ahead and hit it. WilshireGun.com/training. Calendar's there, a lot of offerings. Private lessons are always available. Just give us a call. Enough of this. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into the good stuff.
All right. So a few of the things that made it through the end of the year sale. My favorite hidden gem. I feel like I talk about hidden gems a lot. That's my thing, I guess. This is the LTT PX4 Storm, 15-round magazine. Just an overall good gun. Works differently than most tilting barrel guns that's probably stuffed in our viewers' waist right now. This barrel rotates rather than tilts.
Not a Browning action.
It is not. So that recoil is a little bit more linear than a flip. And this is the LTT version. So Ernest Langdon did his magic, Teflon coated some of the internal parts. You got this cool kind of a stone gray slide, upgraded Amerigo sights. It is not a safety version. It's a decocker version, which is my preferred trigger if I'm going to choose a double action, single action. And again, it is just a fantastic trigger. We've got one on the rental wall. It's not the LTT version. It's the basic run-of-the-mill, and that thing is an absolute tank. No issues ever. Change the recoil spring on time and feed it bullets. You don't take care of it. It'll keep running. So
my little throw in for those guys looking for hammer guns or like hammer guns. This is definitely a very competitive firearm in that offering. It's a little bit different. Its money is going to be a little bit less. So definitely come give them a try. I know they're not real pretty to look at. They're not going to win you any sexiest gun contests.
They feel great though.
But they do. It's like the old farm mule. It just works, right? So come give our rental a try. And if you like that, just imagine that, but nicer. Because that's what this LTT. $830.
The regular standard one is a little bit cheaper, about $150 cheaper.
Okay.
Depending on which size you get. But that upgrade is definitely worth it.
Yeah, the LTT guns are nice.
This one will be just a little bit more than your hammer-fired P30, which is probably the most common or the most popular hammer-fired gun right now. Yeah. It feels like your VP9s. But the standard model will come in just below your average P30, so kind of covers the spread on that.
Yeah. And like I said, come give them a try. Definitely worth it. Beretta, Italian stallion. There we go.
I don't know about that. But number 2 is not your Granddad shotgun. It is the 870 Express, chambered in 3-inch shells. Obviously, it'll take all the other small ones. Like a 5 or 6 inch tube. I don't know. Not a 6
5 or 6
inch round tube. I don't remember. Coming with all your updated Magpul furniture. So makes it lighter, more water resistant. If you have if you're a duck guy and you've carried Grandpa's shotgun and it's gotten wet, it gets fucking heavy. No issues with this. Easier to adjust your length of pull. You just take these spacers out. It's already set up for QDs and your regular sling loop.
Yep.
Ready for everything.
Yep. 870 has been around a long time. And now it's back. I know they were really hard to get there for, about a year and a half, probably.
Yeah, that plant shut down. There's some restructuring. They got bought, sold, bought again. And even these are coming with drilled and tapped receivers. So if you want to throw a knot up there, it'll just take you 10 minutes to put a new one on.
Yep.
So
toss a rail up there and then
no more gunsmith fees.
3 screws in a dream.
Yeah.
So 870, great home defense gun. We were getting asked for them a lot. So I'm sure that you guys still have. If you don't have one, you need one.
Yes.
If you do have one, you probably need another.
Yeah, they're like dogs. They need a friend.
Exactly. So Remington 870 Express, Magpul furniture, great addition to the safe. Let's see. We were talking about red dots.
Mm-hmm.
So who's king of red dots?
Obviously, it's Aimpoint.
Aimpoint.
Aimpoint or die.
Aimpoint or die. And so now, Aimpoint has one real problem, which most people mention to us, is their price, right? They are so much more expensive than everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they validated reasons for their expense, they're bomb-proof, other stuff like that, how they're made.
Mm-hmm.
But to the average consumer, they don't necessarily find a $700 red dot worth their time when I can do a Holosun that's $350.
Yeah.
Or, whatever off Amazon for $50.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't do that because those will just fall apart and they get you clapped in the streets. However, Aimpoint's got a solution to that. For those that are familiar with the Aimpoint Pro, which is basically, I don't want to say a watered down version of a Comp M4, but it is a similar version of the Comp M4, which stands for, or it's basically their duty optic. It was focused around.
It's more their entry level.
Right, law enforcement instead of military. They're still very durable, still the same quality dots, same quality build. They're just a little bit cheaper. So you're not paying, like I said, $1,200 for a dot. It's more in the $500, $600 range.
Yeah.
They did that same thing with the RDS2. I'm sorry, just the RDS, not the RDS2, just the RDS. It's a 2 MOA dot. Basically against the T2 or the micro dot model.
Yeah.
So Aimpoint's RDS came out. Basically the same body structure as a T2. Same dot quality. Biggest difference here is we're not getting the brightness knob. It's on an up and down button, which these are, again, Aimpoint bright. You can turn them up, look like the sun. You're getting that crisp Aimpoint dot. I don't know why. So I am unfortunately one of those people that has a minor astigmatism. So my red dots look like a dot with like two little anyway. For whatever reason, a lot of people say Aimpoint dots are clearer for their astigmatism. It doesn't cure it. It's not going to cure it. You just don't get as much spill off the dot.
I've heard that several times.
It's a crisper dot. And so that is definitely one of the benefits of, you pay a little bit more higher quality. For my astigmatism guys that have never been able to shoot a dot or struggle shooting a dot, Aimpoint may have a solution for that. I'm not going to say it's a fix-all, but you may get it to a usable point. So definitely worth checking it out. Now, what is really the RDS and what does it bring to the table, right? Pretty standard mount. I believe it's just their micro mount is what it looks like.
It'll fit, but it's kind of the same. It's taller than your T2. It's kind of like their M5S.
Yeah.
So be careful when you're buying mounts.
Right, if you're buying one of them really tall ones.
It'll actually be too tall. Unity's making a mount for them. I found something like Reptilia or something is making another mount for them to adjust that height to was it your 226 or
226, which that may be something you can do like a 193.
I've read guys are doing that.
We had Tyler had that.
Overhangs a little bit.
But
not an issue for me. Some people want it to
be all flush,
really important to them.
There's the guys that like their guns to look good, and there's the guys that like their guns to work.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
You can put it on a mount, but like you said, it does have a little bit of height right there difference than an actual T2, which is a little more flush. That's probably because of the control panel that they built into it.
If you're a lower 1/3 guy, that's pretty damn close.
This is
out of the box.
Yeah. Adjustment looks like a tool. Pretty easy. Just a little Allen key. I bet it comes in the box. Again, battery is a 2032. Battery life's probably right there in that Aimpoint lifespan of 50 to 70,000 hours.
Yeah.
Depending on brightness.
It's got night vision too, right?
I don't know if these are night vision compatible or not.
I would assume.
But
just
now,
everybody
here's my kicker with night vision compatible optics. I run a lot of night vision. I don't think I've ever turned my dot down all the way into night vision just because it's pretty dim even through night vision. I usually run it right there. If it is in the night vision setting, it's right there at the highest one, or even in the lowest visible, which isn't visible because they're so dim. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of that.
It just gets dark enough to look good through nods.
Right, because that's really all I'm doing is making sure it's not blowing my tubes out, but still a good enough dot I can see.
Right.
Which this dot, I can tell you,
you can look through there when you're
does
clicking,
get really dim.
When you're clicking through the menu, you can push it up a few times and you won't notice much change, and then you'll see the dot coming.
I mean, that one right there that would work through night vision right there. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna. I don't know if it has actual night vision like settings, but I can tell you it will work under night vision, mm-hmm. And you'll be all right with it. So the RDS. We've had these sitting down there for a little bit, and I think they've kind of flown under the radar because most people glance at them and go, oh, a T2.
It's easy to gloss over if you're not really looking at it.
But definitely, so basically this is the Aimpoint Pro to the Comp M4, so this is that to the T2. Mm-hmm. More of a duty-style optic, very rugged. It's got some kind of weird, I don't even know what the coating is called.
So whenever they roughed those out, they didn't polish them. They didn't tumble them like they do T2s. Mm-hmm. So they skipped that stage in the process, which saves money, which is how they cut some costs without cutting quality.
Which, again, for your night vision guys, that's going to create a relatively matte finish. It won't gloss, which, a lot of those guys really harp over of not, trying to have the lowest visible profile. Mm-hmm. Definitely worth a look, guys. Look real good on an 870. You put it on a real low mount.
On the flush mount?
Just saying. But hook up to any of your pick mounts. Definitely worth a look. And those are coming in basically right at $600. Mm-hmm. So a couple $100 under a T2. Definitely worth it. You're getting that same Aimpoint dot. Definitely good quality stuff. So, okay. I don't know, we're about 10, maybe 15 minutes into all of this. We're getting to the last part, which all of you guys have been sitting around. Normally we run behind the build, we show off somebody's gun.
Not today.
That one's going the way of the dodo. Thank you for everybody who commented on our behind the builds. It saw us around the store. It makes us kind of feel like rock stars, I guess you could call it. You can kind of say. Nope. The year of 2023 is going to be, this section is, what's in your pants? So here we are.
Jake, tell me.
Tell you. What's in my pants? Well, let's start. We'll go around. Let's see, we got keys, wallet, which we'll come back to this one. Phone. What else?
Boring.
Yeah, right. Oh, actually, I got something special today that I don't normally carry. Headphones. Very useful. Good knife. Good flashlight.
It's almost like we plugged that last video.
It's kind of like that, yeah. And then my gun, which is unloaded. There's the magazine, so some of you guys. Spare mag, tier 1 consumer holster. So quite a bit of stuff, actually.
And is this stuff normally you carry day in and day out?
Minus those, yes. Basically everything right there. That's what I do, the four position pat, make sure everything's there.
Exactly.
Let's go through it. So regular, Android phone. This one I do want to talk about. For those who carry leather wallets, trifold wallets, billfolds in your back pocket, stop.
It's bad for you.
This was a Gavyn. Gavyn actually talked me into this, told me to do it. This is an Aviator wallet. Changed my life. Never realized how much hip pain and back pain I was causing myself until I took this out of I carried it in my front pocket, which was a little bit weird, but to get used to. But once you do, worth it, 100%. On my keys, the only thing really of note, I got my little Boba Fett. I got a Gerber. I guess it's a multi-tool.
Yeah.
Got a little pry tool. It's got a bottle opener. It's got a little bitty screwdriver on it. I've used this thing maybe a handful of times.
Worth it or no?
I'd say worth it. I mean, for its space that it takes up on the actual keys.
When you need a bottle opener.
Right. If you need a bottle opener or to pop something out of something, pretty handy. Pretty handy. Knife. It's a Benchmade. This is a Casbah. It is an automatic. The reason I really like this is because I get an automatic flip knife, but it's not $1,000.
They don't have the problems like OTFs do, like
right?
the Infidels.
Right, because worst case, I can just open it. Mm-hmm. I think these are a couple $100. They're, S30V. They're good steel, maintained edge. It's I have relatively decent sized hands. Still gives me a good feel. Just a good knife. I mean,
got through 2 of them.
I have. This is actually my second one. I sharpened the other one. I was learning to sharpen knives, really, is what I tell myself. I'm still not very good at it. But you look at blade to blade, it's quite a bit thinner. But good knife, definitely worth. This is the one that surprises me the most, that most people don't do. Most regular people, I'd say. Most gun store guys, or at least here, we all do. But I was told when I first started working here, get a flashlight. And I was like, I have a flashlight on my gun. They're like, no. Get a flashlight. And so my first flashlight was the Streamlight. It's a bunch of letters.
USB or something?
No. It's like the 2A1L or whatever. It's the one that can take multiple batteries. Runs on a CR123 or a AA. You can change. I had that thing for like 5 years. And I mean, it's almost silver now because I've worn all the anodizing off of it, just using it. A pocket flashlight is so useful.
Yep.
Like, it is one of the most useful things. If you're not going to carry anything else, carry this.
Yeah,
because
I would agree with that.
That is, the amount of times I've just been like, is incredible. Get a Streamlight, get a Surefire, get whatever. Get a quality light, don't buy junk. But this is the macro stream that I'm carrying. And I bought this one to test it out. Really, I've been eyeballing them. A lot of guys buy the micro streams, which are the smaller ones.
Not enough battery life for me.
But these are USB rechargeable. I was tired of changing out batteries because their battery life is a couple hours. So just plug it back in. So I run it, Since I bought this, I haven't plugged it in. I mean, I've charged it when I first got it.
Seems like those USB rechargeable ones are a better output.
Right. Like, it does have a stronger, beam pattern, it feels like. It's got a high and a low. They're real useful. Like I said, probably one of the best things. These, I hope some of you guys came in here, last month and bought them for Christmas.
There's a whole bunch of them on sale. That one exactly, too.
That make great Christmas gifts. So, all right, now we can start getting into the, the gun stuff, what everybody, really finds sexy. So, what am I carrying around? This is a Tier 1 concealment Axis, basically sidecar holster. There are a lot of sidecar holsters floating around in the world.
Just about everybody makes one.
Right. Who are the prominent ones? Probably T-Rex. Likes to say he pioneered that. I don't know if that's actually true or not, but if he did, cool. If not, whatever.
Black Rhino makes one, I think.
Yeah, Crossbreed makes one. Tier 1 makes one.
JM Custom.
There's a ton. Yeah. Right? The reason I went with Tier 1, I like their design, but they're also not rigid. They are, if you can see it, they're actually attached via shock cord. So this thing has flex to it, right? So what that really helps is as you put it on your body, it will conform a little bit more to the natural flow of the front of you. Comes with obviously a retention belt press. Allows that. They ride their mag pretty well. Pretty good retention. Independent retention adjustment for both the gun and the mag, so you can fine tune that. But that is a Tier 1 concealment. It's tan and green because I'm, basic like that.
Yeah, you need your unders camouflaged.
Exactly. Never know. Be running around in nothing but my underoos and a belt. Can't be giving stuff away besides my white glowing legs.
Yeah.
Okay, moving into what is in the holster. I have a 320, and you guys have probably seen this gun in the past. I've probably showed it off. This started its life as an X-carry. This is now probably closest to, if I was going to call it something like an AXG Pro.
Yeah, if you were going to go just try to buy that, it would be the AXG.
Right, which will be the closest one. Got an RMR on top, a Streamlight TLR7. This is the newer version with the more traditional paddles, not the buttons up on the side. Mm-hmm. I did run that one for a long time, and I could get away with it because I have really long fingers.
I can't reach them.
These were a godsend. These are the high buttons. TLR7, good light actually. Really like this light. Sits flush with compact length guns, Glock 19s, 320s. I don't like lights that stick out way far like X300s, like some of these Savages carry. Mm-hmm. My one protruding part, and this is really for looking cool, the threaded barrel. This is a SIG threaded barrel that was gunsmith down. Now, I will say, if you're like, oh, I really like the way Jake's gun looked with that threaded barrel, that there is a caveat. This only works with certain suppressors, mm-hmm. right? This won't work with every suppressor. So don't go cut your barrel down like this and then get mad that it won't work. I'm telling you, it only works with certain ones, and you usually have to have an extended piston for it to work, because as it cycles, it'll hit your recoil spring.
Yeah, that's why the SIG threaded barrels look a little goofy sticking too far out there.
But it does look cool. So
I agree.
That is important. RMR, I've gone through a bunch of optic choices on this. It started its life with a Romeo 1, an original Romeo 1, which I actually really liked. It had the shroud on it, had no issues with it. Came into a Delta Point relatively cheap, switched over to a Delta Point. Here's my one caveat. There's two things about Delta Points that I didn't like that got me to switch over to the RMR. Delta Points sit really high on the SIGs. Really high.
Hard to find those irons if you really want those.
There's really only one place you can get irons that will co-witness with a Delta Point on a 320, and that's Dawson Precision. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you,
they are huge.
They are huge.
I've seen dudes snap those front sights.
Yeah. So that is something to note. The other thing, I'm not real keen on the Delta Point because, again, I've been shooting a lot of night vision stuff, so I'm going a lot between light and dark, is they have a single button. Mm-hmm. Now, for duty guns, daily carry, that kind of stuff, not really an issue. Yeah. Because it's kind of a, put it on your brightness that you prefer, and that's where it's probably going to stay 95% of the time. Mm-hmm. For me, that was having to come in and out, and then that little less than thrilled. Yeah. So, switched over to an RMR. Really actually like its appearance on the 320. It actually looks pretty good. You don't see a lot of them like that, but it is a C&H precision plate. Mm-hmm. Now, here's my one jab at SIG. SIG is now cutting their pro slides and some of the other slides with RMR pattern holes in relation to the Delta Point cut, right? So it's a multi-cut or multi-hold slide. Caveat to that. SIG does not thread those holes in the proper thread pitch that comes with the RMR screws. Mm-hmm. Meaning, you have to get aftermarket screws to fit the SIG slide like the tap.
It's kind of annoying paying $10 for 2 screws.
It's very annoying. Now, I ended up doing it because I bought a C&H plate instead of direct mounting the RMR to the gun with different screws. I bought a C&H plate that comes with the proper screws, and am essentially using it as a sealing plate to waterproof the RMR. Mm-hmm. Which, if the guys that are familiar with RMRs know, you can buy like the little metal plate. That essentially acts as my sealing plate, came with the correct screws. Mm-hmm. It was a win-win for me. So, RMR on a C&H plate on a 320. I didn't have it cut. It came like that. That is the pro slide. So, the other reason for a pro slide is you get to keep your rear sight. So,
which is nice. Drives me nuts about the M17, M18.
Yep.
Those first generation cuts absolutely drive me nuts.
Yep. So the then just regular X-Ray 3 suppressor height sights. Nothing special there. Co-witness, real nice on a lower third. And that's the gun. Magazines that I carry, 2 17 rounders.
Obviously, Legion mags.
Yeah, Legion mags. Metal base plates out of the box. No need to switch them. They're a little bit more compact, I guess you'd call it, on their base plates.
Yeah.
Now, here is my one caveat about Legion mags. Again, they look cool. They work well. They fall free.
Shirts.
They are aluminum. They are graded on the bottom, if you guys can see that. They will tear your shirts up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something to take note of. These are, I'm not going to say they're sharp, but they are metal and they are at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
So enough friction, or if you're like rubbing against like a table like this, you will tear a hole in your shirt. I have a ton of t-shirts with like speckled holes in them just from these rubbing against them. Actual ammunition, what is this? This is an HST. Yeah, this is an HST. Carrying 147 HSTs. I also like gold dots. I was carrying gold dots. I actually went HSTs, gold dots, back to HSTs because that's what I can get. Those are kind of interchangeable in my mind. The V-Crown kind of play in that same area as well. I would have no problem recommending a V-Crown.
Yeah, V-Crown makes good stuff.
And they're all relatively same price point. They all essentially look the same. It's all some sort of, silver casing, bronze bullet looking deal. But all good quality bullets. I say carry heavy bullets because that's what I like. I like 147s. A lot of guys carry 124s. So personal preference there. That's what's in my pants.
Cool. Thanks for letting me see what's in your pants.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Till next month, February. Can't wait to see you. Come see us.